Hi, I'm Erica Stice and thanks for watching. I'm the studio coordinator at Halstead and today I want to talk about our economy rolling mill. Now, our economy rolling mill is cast in steel and it's pretty heavy at 56 pounds, but you're still going to want to bolt that to a bench. So, the base of our rolling mill comes with two holes so that you can run bolts through and attach it. There's one at the back and there's one at the front, which makes it very sturdy, and we have ours attached to this white table, then the white table attached to the gray table. So it's really strong. So our rolling mill comes with 5 rollers, which makes it really cool. So we have a texturing roller, and that one actually has 2 different textures on it. And it also comes with 2 wire rollers. Now the wire rollers, you have one for the bottom and you have one for the top. And if you're only going to use if you want to do a half round wire, you can just keep the flat roller, which is on the machine right now. You can keep the flat roller on the bottom on the machine and just put on your top wire roller. Now, they come in V-shaped and round, so you can make different sizes of wires and you can draw them down. And there are 5 reasons why people use rolling mills. And so let's talk about the first one. The first one's embossing patterns on sheet metal. So what you do is you take a brass plate, and I've embossed this one right here. But what you'll do is you'll go ahead and put your copper, and make sure your copper is annealed. It's really important to run things through your rolling mill that are annealed. So you line it up and you slip it through the front, and this is the front and this is the back of your rolling mill. And you want to slip it through and you want to adjust your rollers. And how you adjust your rollers on our rolling mill is you just move this. One will go down and one will go up, and you want to make sure that it's not too tight because you can damage your machine by rolling it through if it's too tight. So I want to put a little separation in there. I want it to be tight but not too tight so it rolls really easily. And you just roll it through, and it's okay if it bends. You just straighten it back out. And you can see the texture on there. I hope you can see this, but that's all you do. And you just would take a nylon or a raw head hammer and you would just straighten that back out. So don't worry if it bends, that's common. So that's the first way, and it's really fun if you're doing patterns because you can do sheet, flowers, leaves, twigs, soft screens, mesh. Just be really, really careful you don't put steel through without protecting if you put steel through your rollers, you can actually damage the rollers, which means you have to resurface them, and that takes a lot of time and it's really expensive. So if you're doing steel, wrap your steel up in cloth, or just don't let the steel touch the rollers. You can use paper towels, you can use cloth, you can kind of sandwich it in between copper, annealed copper or brass. Those are safe for the rollers. Now, another way to use your rolling mill is to melt and roll out scrap metal into sheets. So what you do is you'd make an ingot by pouring your metal into the ingot and then let that cool down, and then you'd saw off a piece and you'd go ahead and roll it down until it's the gauge you want. So you would adjust your rolling mill a little bit at a time. You only want to go about 1/8 of a turn until it's the gauge that you want, and that's how you roll out your metal, how you roll out your sheet. Now another one is what I already mentioned, is draw down wire gauges. So you take thick gauge wire and you'd roll it through your wire rollers. So if you go over here, you could see that it progresses in size down. So you would just roll it down one at a time until it's the gauge you want there as well. And that's really fun to do. And another way is to harden your metal. So every time it rolls through the roller, it gets hard. That's why after about 3 or 4 passes, you can actually damage your material. So you want to keep it annealed all the time. So you want to get really used to annealing it because you want it to be soft on almost every pass. And the last thing is to use it for fold forming. So of course you can always fold form and make your creases with a hammer, but if you use a rolling mill, it's going to be so much more, it's going to just be so much sharper, your creases. It's really cool. So if you look right here, you could see this one was done on a rolling mill, and you could see how sharp that bend is. And if you hammer it, it wouldn't be quite that tight. So rolling mills are really fun to use when fold forming. And when you fold form, since you have 2 pieces of metal, it's pretty tight. So you want to do a lot of passes through it so you don't damage it. So again, you'll adjust it. And you just don't want it to be too tight running through. You definitely don't want to put a lot of pressure onto the rollers because you could break your handle or your gears. So you want to go through slowly and just turn it a little bit at a time. And continue to do that until the crease is as sharp as you'd want it. And after a few passes, you'll want to go ahead and you will want to anneal it. And it'll get tighter and tighter the more you do it. I hope you can see that, but it's coming together and pretty soon it'll be just perfect like this. So those are the 5 ways you can use your rolling mill. Now, also caring for your rolling mill is really important. So besides protecting your rollers from damaging steel, here are a couple more tips. So like I said, anneal it after about 3 to 4 passes, and you'll get used to how hard your metal becomes, but you're going to want to anneal it. And once you anneal it, you're going to want to dry it because the water can be really damaging to the rollers. So also don't force metal through it. Turn 1/8 of a rotation before each pass, because if you force the metal through, you can really damage it. You can break off the gears, the teeth on the gears. You can break your handle. So just take your time with it. Now, storing your rolling mill. Now, as you can see, these are really greasy. All of these gears and stuff are greasy, and that's a really good thing. You want to keep your rolling mill well greased in a 3-to-1 machine gear oil on all the movable parts, including the rollers. So clean grease off the rollers prior to using by using a clean soft cloth or a paper towel to wipe the grease off. But go ahead and grease the rollers again after using them. That'll also help to just protect your rollers and to keep dust and debris off. Cover it with a plastic or a paper bag, and that'll even help, or even a cardboard box. That'll really help to keep it covered and clean and greased. Now, for more tips on rolling mills and what you can use them for, read our article, 5 Ways to Use a Rolling Mill in Your Jewelry Studio at blog.halsteadbee.com. You can also find a video at the end of that article where I show you how to tear it down and replace the rollers. Have a great day, and thank you for watching.